Welcome to another episode of the CPG Guys podcast. Our co-hosts, Sri Rajagopalan and Peter V.S. Bond, explore how brands and retailers engage with consumers online, in-store, and everywhere in between. And now, here are Sri and Peter. Welcome again to the CPG Guys podcast. I'm PVSB, one of the aforementioned CPG guys. I'm also the Vice President of Commercial Strategy at Fetch Rewards, the mobile loyalty platform. I'm particularly intrigued by loyalty and the applications of first-party consumption data in the CPG retail industry. My co-host, he's an expert in omnichannel commerce, and he's fascinated by retail media and digital marketing. Please welcome my good friend, my ride or die, Sri. Sri, how you doing? Welcome from across the planet this morning. How you doing?
Hey, Peter. It might be a Hawaiian shirt, but I'm actually in Chennai, India. So at the time of this recording, I am visiting extended family in Chennai, Mumbai, as well as in Kolkata, where my mom lives. And it's exciting to actually be in a country where you were raised when you were a kid. But at the same time, I'm also, CPG guys, the show must go on. Here we are, having fun. It's fun to actually broadcast from across the pond. You know what that reminds me of? The FMCG guys.
Oh, I know. And we just had a great crossover event with them on LinkedIn Live. We recommend you go to our CPG Guys LinkedIn page to check it out. But Sri, I know just a couple of days ago, hard to believe, you and I were hitting the bucket list when we attended the Major League Baseball All-Star Game at Dodger Stadium. We got to meet Steve Sachs. We had such a terrific time. It was a phenomenal event. I'm still shocked that it was only just a couple of days ago, and here you are already over in India.
It's crazy, man. I still can't believe that was Tuesday night at 10 p.m. We were leaving Dodger Stadium after the All-Star game. And then Wednesday morning, I left for India. Thursday afternoon, U.S. time, I'm already here. What is it, Peter? Like literally 10,000 miles away. It's crazy. What a fun moment, a bucket list moment for you and me. Not just the All-Star game, but the home run derby this year as well, which Juan Soto eventually won. It's just fun to watch those balls fly out of the park. Hey, one thing I want to mention, Peter, over the course of the next 2 weeks, y'all are going to see our Instagram light up. There's going to be a lot of media we're going to be sharing from many of our episodes over the last year or so. Check it out. Instagram, of course, doesn't allow us to post a link with our post, but you're going to find them in the comment section, which you can easily copy and post. And of course, you all know where to find every single episode. I'm going to mention dates of the episodes. You all can just scroll chronologically, but you're going to see a lot of that content in Instagram go forward.
Thanks, Sri. And before we get to our guests, I will remind our audience that all of our content may be found by visiting CPGguys.com. We have a brand new website with all sorts of rich content, including a merch store and episodes organized into themes like retail media and loyalty. Sign up there for our forthcoming newsletter. If you aren't already following us on LinkedIn, you should be doing it. Just open up your app or go to LinkedIn's website and enter CPG Guys in the search box. When you get to our page, just click the follow button. It's pretty much that easy. That way you'll get to see all the great content we're producing. And the best thing about it, well, it's totally free. We don't charge anything. It's all about the education and sharing journey, and it will remain that way. Also, please check out the FMCG Guys podcast hosted by our friends Daniel and Efrain. They take the CPG Guys podcast format across the pond to speak to retail and fast-moving consumer goods luminaries from a European perspective. Just visit fmcgguys.com to learn more. And of course, as always, we're proud to partner with Next Up, aka Network of Executive Women, whose mission it is to advance all women in business and to promote the cause of gender equality and career development. Please visit nextupisnow.org/CPG Guys. Yes, we have our own landing page there to learn more about this great group. And in the middle of every Wednesday episode, you can find an Easter egg on upcoming seminars and events. Please get engaged with Next Up. It is an incredibly worthwhile cause. We're back at it today with our favorite topic, retail media. We're pleased to be joined today by a guest from Instacart, the leading grocery technology company in North America. Instacart offers same-day delivery and pickup services to bring fresh groceries and everyday essentials to busy people and families across the USA and Canada. It's been almost a year since we last spoke with someone from Instacart. In that time, they further expanded their retail network and introduced a number of new brand building capabilities, including new CPG brand pages and a suite of display advertising products that deliver full funnel marketing capabilities to brands. Here to speak with us about everything new going on at Instacart is the Vice President of Ad Sales. He's been at Instacart for over a year and has significant media experience with stops at DoubleClick, NBC Universal, and even Amazon. Please join Sri and me in welcoming to the podcast Ryan Mayward. Ryan, greetings. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. It's an honor. And I'm excited to get going.
Well, we are too, Ryan. It's so wonderful to have you here. You know, you are hitting us on our very end. We're not kidding about this. Our very favorite topic, retail media. We are increasingly the place to go when people want to speak about retail media. It is a great conversation. There's so much growth going on, so we're excited about that. Before we get to the questions Sri and I have prepared for you, it would really be great if you could let our audience know where on the web they can learn more about Instacart ads. And would you kindly give us a brief overview of what your team does?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So in terms of learning more about Instacart ads, you can go to instacart.com/company, and there you'll be able to easily find the Instacart ads blog where you'll learn all about our business. So check that out. In terms of my team's activities, I lead what we call the Brand Partnerships organization. And brand partnerships includes ad sales, all of our support functions like account management and operations, as well as a couple of really important analytics organizations, media analytics and CPG insights. We have tons of great data and insights to share with CPG brands, and so we have a sizable organization to support that. So that's what we're doing. We're end-to-end customer experience management for our CPG partners.
Thanks for that, Ryan. To our audience, in the digital liner notes of this podcast episode, you're going to find the link that Ryan mentioned, so you don't need to write it all down. It's all there. Just open up your mobile app, click on the liner notes, and boom, there. And we're also going to have a link to Ryan's LinkedIn profile so you can learn more about him as well. I really appreciate that. Why don't we get to the conversation? I'll kick it off with the first question. Ryan, would you please share with us a brief overview of your professional journey and what prompted you last year to move over to Instacart?
Yeah, the origin story. Happy to rewind the clock on that. I got into this business about 22 years ago. In January of 2000, I joined a digital media agency back when it was important to identify yourself as such. It was early days in online advertising. Most of the digital media agencies were, independent and would soon be bought up by the big agency holding companies. I worked in that space for a few years, and then I left the industry to pursue personal interests. I left to become a lawyer and pursue a career in public policy. When I was out of law school in New York, I was about to start a family, get married, and pursuing the public policy, passion was probably not going to pay the bills in the near term, and so I was excited because digital media had rebounded really well while I was in law school, and so I joined a company called Dakota. Founded by Dave Morgan to do business development. I moved into ad sales at that point as well. I moved over to NBC Universal in the early days when they were just launching their full episode player and incubating a company that industry pundits called ClownCo, but became Hulu. And then left NBCU, rejoined Dave Morgan and the Dakota crew for their new company called Simul Media. I was there for a period of time before Amazon recruited me, and I spent 9 years at Amazon helping them build out their global advertising business and serving in a few different roles there. And then I came over to Instacart about a year and a half ago to build the next great e-commerce advertising business.
Ryan, welcome to the show. First of all, we've been looking forward to this one to really get into the weeds here of Instacart and everything Instacart has to offer on the retail media side, but also one of the first things that comes to me top of mind, Ryan, is Instacart has grown leaps and bounds since we had Josh Ryder way back in 2020, and then we had Seth Piller at some point back in 2021, but it's been a while since we've had anyone from Instacart, and would love to know over the course of time what the reach and audience size has grown to, and retailers you're partnering with, what sort of engagement is going on these days, and what the plans are for the future to the extent you can share.
I think the best way to dimensionalize our reach is by addressing the households that we cover in North America. So we're able to deliver to 90% of households in North America. And so question is, how do we do that? We do that by partnering with over 800 retailers. We partner with national and regional and local retail brands. The store coverage that we achieve through those 800 retailers is 70,000 stores in the US and Canada. That covers about 5,500 US cities, all 50 states, and the provinces in Canada. That's delivery. We also power pickup for many of our retailers. And we're working with 120 grocery partners on the pickup side of our business. Big retailers like Food Line and Publix and Schnucks and Wegmans and others. Those 120 grocery partners enable us to power pickup in 45 states and from about 4,500 stores. And that's growing pretty quickly. More recently, we've gotten into the alcohol delivery business as well. And this is a customer favorite of ours. We have expanded alcohol delivery and pickup into 27 states in DC. That's enabled by partnerships with about 210 retailers, some of our grocery partners, as well as pure play alcohol retailers like Bevmo or Total Wine and More. So that gives us coverage of about 17,000 stores that are also alcohol retailers. And all of this store coverage in the US and Canada, all of the reach that enables, all of the customers that enables us to serve, has provided a big and growing opportunity for CPG brands. And so we've expanded the number of partners that we work with on our advertising business. We work with over 5,000 individual CPG brands between the US and Canada, and business is brisk.
Well, speaking of CPG brands, Ryan, Instacart recently announced the introduction of brand pages. Would you please explain this new offering to our audience, and what needs were you trying to help brands solve through it?
Yeah, this was a product development that was driven heavily by CPG feedback and demand. And basically they said to us, look, we spend a lot of money, as you know, on paid social and online video, and more and more, we need to drive this traffic to landing experience where the customer can shop, and a landing page experience that's close to the point of sale, so that more and more of our paid media can be measured through closed loop sales measurement. And we heard this loud and clear. It wasn't really initially on our roadmap. We were more focused on enhancing, our search capability and building out new display assets. But the demand for brand pages was significant, and so we went ahead and prioritized it. And it's been very successful, very well received by CPG partners. Brand pages are free to create. The brand uses their own imagery. They write all the text on the page. They curate the assortment on the brand page, and they direct traffic to it. So, for example, Charmin is one of the partners using brand pages right now. They might be advertising on, Instagram. The click-through URL would be their brand page on Instacart. A customer sees the ad, clicks on the ad, lands on the brand page, sees the Charmin assortment, and then can start adding those products to their cart and building their cart on Instacart. The brand page experience is inherently fair and equitable, ultimately because the consumer chooses which retailer to shop from. The default retailer on the brand page is the retailer that the customer last shopped from, or if they're a net new Instacart customer, it would be the retailer geographically closest to them, and then they can change that if they want. And so as the basket's being built and the customer goes to checkout, we're able to report back to the CPG brand all of the sales that occurred from that brand page. And so we expect this to be an important tool in all of our CPG partners' success on Instacart, and we'll be enhancing brand pages with even richer functionality in the future.
So Ryan, before we start getting more into the depths of marketing over here and the capabilities of the retail media that you'll offer, I wanted to just re-clarify for our listeners one more time, your coverage now in terms of offering the convenience of pickup from stores is in the 4,500 store range approximately. Is that accurate?
Yeah, on the store coverage, we are working with major retailers like Kroger and Publix to power virtual convenience, a convenience channel that's available exclusively through the Instacart app and enables delivery in 30 minutes or less or 15 minutes or less, depending on where the customer is located. And yeah, we're servicing thousands of stores across Kroger, Publix, and others for the virtual convenience offering.
Thank you so much. Got it. So I'd love to run into what I've recently learned is more details on the full funnel marketing capabilities you'll offer up. Because traditionally, when I've thought of Instacart, prior to you coming on the show, maybe you can debunk that myth here that Instacart is primarily a lower funnel opportunity, which is through retail media to drive the conversion angle. But recently, I've heard y'all publicly say that it's full funnel marketing, which is audience acquisition, which means, especially when there's innovation, that would be a great platform to kind of bring in new users and all kinds of cohorts and building. One can do segmentation, etc. So could you enlighten our audience to these new solutions, please?
Of course. So when consumers start to use a new e-commerce marketplace or new e-commerce channel for the first time, they often don't know what selection they're going to encounter, right? Like they inherently know that the selection on an e-commerce platform will be far greater than what they could get in a single brick and mortar location. That is, if the e-commerce channel they're leveraging is a marketplace of many hundreds or thousands of retailers. So they don't know exactly what they're going to find, whether across all of the different retailers that we work with, or even within an individual storefront. And we know this because of the way that they search. Our customers primarily use category search terms, and so when they're using an e-commerce experience for the first time, searching with broad search terms, they're generally in a product discovery mode. Their brand preferences tend to be more malleable, and they go through the entire customer journey on Instacart, from awareness to consideration to purchase to repeat purchase. And it's really our job to give brands the tools to reach customers through every stage of the shopping journey. And as you highlighted, paid search, or what we call sponsored product, has been the backbone of the advertising business for the last 2.5 years, and has been extremely effective in helping brands win premium digital shelf space and capture that, for lack of a better term, lower funnel or high intent consumer behavior. But we know that awareness and discovery, consideration also occur on Instacart. And so enable CPG brands to connect with customers while they're in a mode of shopping where they could become aware of a product or consider products for the first time that they didn't know were available on Instacart. We're making display ads available to brands. That launched in Q4 of last year, so it's a nascent area for us. We're in the midst of launching a video pilot right now, so we're continuing to enhance the display offering with richer units. And then, as I was just talking about brand pages, this is an amazing consideration driver. The brand page can be accessed through external media, a brand driving from off Instacart, but also with the launch of our new display offering, brands can use display ads to drive traffic to their brand page on Instacart. And so between all of these new assets and sponsored product as the foundation, we're helping brands communicate with customers all the way through as they become aware of a brand for the first time. And we have thousands and thousands of challenger brands, emerging brands live on our platform. And so there's definitely brand building happening among those brands as well. The household brands are driving awareness of their categories being available on Instacart. For our consumers, we're synonymous with food. We have opportunities to drive penetration in household and personal care and pets and so on. And display ads are effective in bringing consumers into the category as well. And so that's what the portfolio looks like, and we'll continue to double down on features that allow brands to access customers at all steps of the customer journey.
Ryan, Instacart recently announced that you're piloting new shoppable display and video ad products. These are two areas that we have been deeply investigating of recent note on this podcast. Can you tell us more about what's going on here and walk us through how these fit into Instacart's full funnel strategy?
Yeah, these are an extension of the display component of the offering and are really enhancements to our display product. So, when display launched, it's self-service, auction-based, and we're using the brand's creative. But of course, brands want their ads to be more shoppable, and that's really the idea behind shoppable display and video ads. Shoppable display ads have been in a pilot for the last few months. The shoppable display ad is essentially a large hero image from the brand, and then underneath it, you'll see 3 UPCs that the customer, when they see the ad, can add directly to their cart. And one of the most popular tactics for shoppable display ads throughout the pilot has been complementary targeting in search results. So really, shoppable display and video ads are all about building the basket, enabling brands to build bigger baskets, cross-sell products, and in a complementary targeting environment. What I mean by that is, let's say a customer has searched for hot dogs, and they haven't added anything to their cart on the first 1 or 2 rows of search results. They decide to keep scrolling. They're more or less switching into discovery mode, interested to see what's on that page. Underneath that, second row or so of search results, we can deliver a shoppable display ad. And for that hot dog search, the display ad might be from a brand that sells condiments. You could see, ketchup, mustard, and relish as the 3 UPCs under their brand image, and then the customer can add those to their cart. And this has been a very effective tactic for brands. We have more than 40 CPG brands in the pilot at the moment. Dove, Mondelez, PepsiCo, and others. And they're excited about the pilot that has just gotten underway in the last couple of weeks, which is the shoppable video pilot. So similar concept, an up to 30-second video ad with 3 UPCs underneath it that are relevant to that ad from that brand that the customer can add directly to their cart. We've been running the shoppable video ad pilot on our home screen. Eventually, shoppable video ads will be on all the shopping surfaces in the Instacart app and on our website. Just a shoppable display will be in very short order. And again, Mondelez, Dove, PepsiCo, and others jumped into the shoppable video pilot, and we're very excited about this one. There's tons of pent-up demand for a video ad execution on Instacart. So we're excited about bringing this to all of our brands later this year.
Shoppable video ads, shoppable display ads. Congratulations on both the pilots. Sounds like you have the right marquee clients, customers, and brands signing up. Then earlier we kind of referred to funnel marketing and how you're offering up top solutions now for audience acquisition for brands, etc. We also hit up right up front the reach that you have. So one of the big questions our audience has for you is, if we can put all these capabilities in the marketplace, we can use them, brands can get where they want to go. How do they measure success on Instacart? And then what metrics are becoming more important? What are you sharing? And how do you partner with specific clients of yours and specific brands that you partner with on these metrics?
Yeah, great question, Tree. I would break the insights or measurement question into 4 buckets. There's how are my campaigns performing? And then there's what is my total sales activity on Instacart, both paid and organic? And then there's how do large brands measure success on Instacart, and how do emerging brands measure success on Instacart. And so I'll start with emerging brands. They tend to take a very D2C oriented approach to measuring success. They want to look at customer acquisition and lifetime value. And so we built out metrics to help them run that playbook. And they like to use, ROAS as an efficiency guardrail. So our customer acquisition metric equivalent is new to brand. And then, of course, we have piloted lifetime value, looking at a customer's purchase frequency and volume over time. And we've made those metrics available to emerging brands. And that's really the foundation of their playbook. Some of them, let's say they're subnational distribution, newer brands in categories where there are massive incumbent brands. They're not going to use category share as their North Star. They want to know how many customers am I acquiring on this platform, and how valuable are these customers to me? And then what's my relative level of efficiency in terms of buying ads on this platform? That's really the emerging brands playbook. Larger brands, let's call it our top 100 CPG partners, approach it a bit differently. They do care about category share. We've mapped all of the products for sale on Instacart to the Nielsen IRI hierarchy, and so we can speak the same category language as our CPG customers. And then from category share, the metrics that matter really depend on the brand leader and what their goals are in a given period, a quarter or a year. It could be anything from household penetration to basket size to driving trial and repeat purchase to solving a leaky bucket problem. And so we have metrics that help brands solve whatever their brand challenge is, however they want to frame it, whatever sort of analytics lens they want to look at in terms of driving more sales on Instacart. Large brands also ask questions like, well, if I switch to your automated bidding feature versus manual bidding, do I drive more total sales on Instacart? Or if I add display to my search campaign, do I drive more total sales? And we use our A/B testing capability to answer those questions. Large CPG brands also ask questions like, are ads incremental to my organic sales? Do ads on Instacart cause sales? And so we offer a lift testing capability, which allows brands to see that indeed ads on Instacart are highly incremental to their organic sales. So really for large brands, we have to be flexible and offer a wider selection of metrics to help each brand answer the questions that they have of their success on Instacart. A couple other ways to cut it. So a lot of what I've talked about is, how am I doing from a paid media standpoint on Instacart? And we have a media analytics org that helps brands dive deep on that. We're not a retailer, and so we've also had to build out systems to help brands see their total sales activity on Instacart. And they want to know things like seasonal trends and basket analysis and sales decomposition and other important views of sales activity. And so we have a CPG insights team that dives deep on that. Big brands also want to know, what does my not found rate look like? And in particular, in the last couple of years of supply chain disruption, they've been asking questions about found rate. And luckily, we have a great data asset for them to leverage in the form of our not found data, where we have over 500,000 shoppers in thousands of stores all over the US and Canada every day, witnessing moments where particular items are not on the shelf. And we record those moments, and we help brands understand how often a particular UPC is not found in a given retailer. And that's powerful information that big brands really covet, and that's also part of the offering. So hopefully that gives you a picture of how big brands and small brands are looking at campaign success as well as total activity on the platform.
Hey Ryan, the one question I'd like to come back to is we started up top. You answered with ROAS still continues to be a benchmark for brands. I personally no longer believe ROAS should be the benchmark for anything because you can easily just buy brand keywords and jack up your ROAS. Any perspective you have on that one, ROI versus ROAS, or are you still very much seeing ROAS as the number one like anchor metric?
Yeah, I don't see it as an anchor metric so much as I see it as more of a guardrail or more of a relative efficiency metric that serves as a point of comparison between retail media networks. Instead, I think CPGs are really anchoring on, true ROI, like do ads cause sales? Am I acquiring new customers on the platform? What's my category share position? And other important questions like that.
I'll remind our audience that today Sri and I are speaking with Ryan Mayward, Vice President of Ad Sales at Instacart. So Ryan, how do brands actually access your retail media platform? Is it all directly through you? Or are they able to leverage third-party ad management platforms? And how does your team actually support their investment needs?
We have Ads Manager, which is our campaign management UI we've had for several years. I'd say that that's the main way in which emerging brands, our smaller brands, manage their campaigns end to end and get access to reporting and insights. We also have an API that gives tech partners access to our systems that they can build their own campaign management tools to run campaigns on Instacart. And so through our API partnerships, we work with a bunch of companies like Essentials, Flywheel, Impactview, Perpetua, Tenuity, Sky, and others. And then we also work with all the major global agency holding companies like WPP and Publicis and Omnicom Group and others. And so really our stance on this is to be flexible, to work towards UI API parity, and to make it easy for brands to make decisions about whether they want to access our tool set directly on their own, whether they want to build their own campaign management dashboards on top of our API, whether they want to work with a big agency or a smaller specialty agency or what have you. And then we have extensive resources in the brand partnerships organization to service brands directly, to work with agencies, and to work with all of our technology partners who are working on our API.
Fantastic, Ryan. So one of the categories I was thinking through as you were talking to me about the capabilities that you have is, grocery is still, I would say, new in the e-commerce space. Electronics, apparel, these were here a long time ago, and a very mature grocery really started earning its maturity points over COVID. So one of the things that grocery is going to ask or require of anybody in this space that's actually in the business of transacting any form of grocery is user experience and improvements, like quality user experience. So I'd love to learn from you, how are you investing in the user experience space or just making it faster and easier for your shoppers?
This has been a big area of focus for our company for the last, I'd say, 18 months or so. If you were to look at our app, 18, 24 months ago, what you would have seen was a very utilitarian experience. We had essentially converted retailers' catalogs into images and made those images searchable. And that's what the app was like for 8.5 years of Instacart's 10-year lifespan. I think customers appreciated the utilitarian nature, as you said, as they were adopting online grocery ordering for the first time, getting a feel for the service, for the experience, understanding how to build baskets and navigate the checkout process and choose a retailer at the outset. So we made all that stuff easier. But more recently, as online grocery has picked up pace, and as more and more sophisticated e-commerce shoppers have started using the service, they're demanding more. They don't want a merely utilitarian experience. They want to be inspired. They want to discover new brands. They want to understand the full depth and breadth of our selection across all our retail partners. They want to help answering questions like, what should I cook for dinner tonight? Or how could I make my kids' lunches more interesting? Or what should I prepare for our summer barbecue this weekend? They want to do occasion-based shopping. My kids are homesick. Do you have, a sick day hub? Or I'm about to go on vacation. Do you have a summer travel essentials hub? Do you offer prepared meals? Like that's a big business for grocers, and we've been bringing that to life. So really, over the last year and a half, we've been focused on driving a much richer, more beautiful shopping experience. We've been bringing in navigational aids for customers to understand or to access a wider variety of categories. I mentioned earlier that our customers think of Instacart as synonymous with food. There's a lot of opportunity to build awareness and bring customers into household, personal care, pet, baby, beauty, office supplies, crafting, home improvement, consumer electronics, to bring them into those categories and into those retailers' storefronts. And so we're doing a much better job of merchandising those things and making navigation easier. We really transformed the shopping experience on home into more of a product-oriented and shopping occasion-oriented experience. And then choosing a retailer once you've sort of dialed in on whether you're there for the weekly grocery shopping trip or whether you're there for a convenience occasion. You've forgotten an ingredient that you need immediately, or you have late night cravings and want ice cream in the next 15 to 30 minutes. We're really reshaping the app around these experiences, and we're featuring things like recipes. We're prominently showing consumers how quickly we can deliver the products that they want, making the pickup option prominent. And I think that all of these richer experiences and merchandising, it's helping to build categories, helping to build sales, and ultimately driving value for our CPG partners as well. So, you're asking a great and timely question because we've been really upping our game in terms of driving a beautiful, fun experience for customers in the app.
Ryan, continuing on the customer experience theme, what about affordability and accessibility for consumers, especially in these very turbulent economic times? Would love to know what Instacart is doing to support that particular focus.
Yeah, this is work that I'm really proud of on behalf of Instacart. The first area that we've focused to drive value for customers is in enabling retailers to accept electronic payments for the SNAP program. And so we work now with over 60 retailers in 39 states and DC, covering about 7,000 of their stores in accepting EBT SNAP payments. And more than half of all the federally approved retailers that have their EBT SNAP online certification got that through their integration with Instacart. So really, we're helping retailers for the first time start to accept, EBT SNAP payments, and we're able to offer EBT SNAP functionality to 28.5 million consumers who have, food insecurity across the U.S. So we're really proud of the work that we've been doing to provide accessibility and to provide, lower prices and higher quality food for customers. Another area is through reinventing savings on Instacart. So, offering more modular, more targeted savings opportunities, either targeting coupons in display ads to customers who are not in the category or who are non-brand buyers, as well as giving CPGs more flexibility in offering novel, buy X, get Y sort of discount opportunities, and then targeting those to particular segments of customers. So this back half of this year, we'll be really investing heavily in this area and reinventing savings as part of the advertising experience. And then lastly, we've recently launched Instacart Plus, which is our subscription, our membership program. And this offers savings to families. You get free delivery on orders over $35, reduced service fees, 5% 5% back on pickup orders. And then we've been doing partnerships with other companies and extending unique perks to Instacart Plus customers from companies like Delta, and Chase. So we're really trying to drive accessibility and affordability for customers across several different programs. And Snap, I'm really excited about, as well as Instacart Plus and our big savings ad launch later this year.
Peter, do you know someone who flies on Delta Airlines and actually has Chase accounts and is leveraging the Instacart platform?
No idea.
All the way in India this week. So yeah, I really do care about that benefit, believe it or not, folks. And I am taking advantage of it. So one of the other things that I've noticed in the last 60, 90, maybe 180 days in this post-COVID era, hopefully post-COVID era, is I think given that online e-commerce grocery has started maturing and showing up left and right, almost everybody has a retail media platform these days. And you just made a new announcement called Carrot Ads as part of the new Instacart platform. Can you tell us more about the Instacart platform, how it comes together? What is Carrot Ads, and then how can retailers benefit from Carrot Ads?
Yeah, love this one. Instacart platform is the umbrella brand for all of our enterprise grade solutions for retailers. We're building out a lot of technology and services for retailers to help them navigate digital transformation and build big and profitable e-commerce channels. And there are 5 pillars to Instacart platform. The first is we help retailers build their e-commerce sites. And this is a business we've been in for several years. These e-commerce sites are powered by Instacart's same-day delivery capability. And this business has really picked up, as you can imagine, over the last couple of years, as grocers have raced to create their own e-commerce channels for the first time. Second pillar is fulfillment. We're building out a network of fulfillment centers that will take the pressure off the in-store shopping experience, help us achieve 100% found rates and ultra-fast delivery times. And that's something that we've been really excited to bring to retailers recently. The third pillar is insights. We built an insights platform for retailers. The fourth, in-store experiences. We're helping bring the best of e-commerce to the in-store experience. We've started this through the acquisition of a company called Caper AI, who make smart carts. You drop products into the cart and it either scans them or weighs them, and then the checkout experience happens on the cart. They also have a point of sale self-checkout device called Counter, which is really amazing to use and makes self-checkout just a seamless, quick experience. And then lastly, this topic you've brought up, Carrot Ads. We are now in the business of powering ads on retailers' sites, and which sites are also powered by Instacart. So if you are a grocer and you've got Instacart powering your e-commerce site, we can now put an advertising experience on that site. And as you mentioned, retailers see the revenue opportunity, the margin improvement of building an advertising business, but they also know it's hard to do. And so we're effectively licensing our ad tech stack to retailers. We're bringing them incremental digital revenue streams, national advertising budgets. They're benefiting from our amazing advertising product and engineering team who build all of our ad products. And they're also benefiting from the resources in my organization. Most of the retailers we're working with have asked us to sell the ads on their behalf. And so we're doing that. And we're really excited about this part of our business. It's very new, but it represents a significant growth opportunity and yet another way to deepen our relationships with our retail partners.
Ryan, we like to end our conversations looking towards the future. It's our virtual Wayne Gretzky question that we like to throw out there. Where's the puck going? So could you share with us where Instacart is looking to build more capabilities? And of course, what's next for Instacart Ads specifically in the back half of 2022?
Ryan, he also, by the way, says project. He can't say project because he had to bring out the Canadian. He had to bring out the Canadian himself.
Yeah, well, it's all on the table now. We know what Peter's all about. Yeah, I love the Wayne Gretzky question. I think the Instacart platform initiatives that I just described are a good indication of what we'll be focusing on in the future. We're as much as we are a consumer app and a food delivery company, we're also an enterprise technology company for retailers, and that's going to be a huge area of investment as we move into 2023. As is everything that I described with respect to making the app more inspirational, driving more discovery, laying out the full breadth of our selection and our retailer partnerships so the customers can know that, yes, it's food. Yes, it's the grocery weekly shopping trip. Yes, it's convenience, but it's many, many more things. From an advertising standpoint, I think what you've seen us do over the last year and a half is invest in automation, particularly in sponsored ads. You've seen us build out richer ad formats. We haven't really talked about this in depth, but we've launched a variety of sponsorships that are aligned to seasonal food shopping moments, and we're investing in making those bigger and more impactful. We'll be investing in new metrics and improved delivery of those metrics and insights, and we'll be delivering, greater scale for CPG advertisers. Our business is growing faster than the market. We're seeing more sales volume on Instacart than our peer set in the grocery category, and we're bringing new users on the platform all the time. So you'll see even greater scale from us next year. So we've got a lot to do next year, but it's an exciting roadmap.
I want to remind our audience that you should visit cpgguys.com to find all of our content. It's all free and it is readily available. And make sure that you're following us on LinkedIn so that you're privy to all the content we're producing. We've got all sorts of things coming up. Shortly, we're going to have retail media minutes. We're going to have Omni comments from some industry luminaries. It's a really great opportunity. And of course, if you think you have something that you want to contribute to this conversation, drop us an email at contact@cpgguys.com. Maybe you can join us on the podcast. Don't forget to leave us a rating and review at cpgguys.com on the navigation bar at the top. And thank you to the 14,000 plus followers of the CPG Guys LinkedIn page. Ryan, Sri and I want to thank you profusely for appearing on our podcast today. And would you remind everybody where they can go to find out, again, more about Instacart ads? It's in the digital liner notes, but always good for people who are listening to know where to go.
Well, Peter and Sri, I want to thank you both profusely. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. It's been my pleasure. And again, check out instacart.com/company and read the Instacart ads blog.
Thank you, Ryan. So, Sri, I know you're itching to get back to your friends and family where you can teach them all about curling and how important that is a sport, and that you can dissuade them from this obsession they have with cricket. But in the interim, can you give us a quick summary of what you thought were some of the real highlights of our conversation today with Ryan?
I was going to teach him what the four bases are, Peter, but then turns out that the India and West Indies are playing a cricket match in 39 minutes, so I'm going to have to postpone baseball to another day. Curling, I'm going to wait for Pierce and you after this call. Pierce is a mystery person. We're not going to reveal who he is, that you're going to teach curling to. So one of the things that I want to mention very clearly is Peter talked about how the show is looking at some improvements. We're going to have the retail media minute. We're going to have another industry luminary and come out here once a week and talk about what's going on in the industry overall. But we already have a brother podcast over the pond in the East called the FMCG Guys, and soon to come, I'm tempted to tease here. Forgive me, Peter. Forgive me to the co-host. A sister podcast is coming up to be announced next week. So watch out carefully. You'll be seeing a lot of that content here on the CPG Guys as well. Congratulations to the two co-hosts. I'm not going to give away the secrets, but y'all can easily go into the LinkedIn, and if you follow Risa Crandall, you're going to see what that podcast is. So I'm actually encouraging y'all to go check it out. So how about this episode? Ryan, first of all, thank you so much for joining the show and being here and decomposing everything Instacart today on this episode. So just to summarize what we learned today, we started up top with the reach of Instacart, 4,500 stores approximately in terms of who the picking happens from, but we also learned about the alcohol vertical that they're focusing on, as well as starting to look into partnerships with large retailers like Kroger. Then we jumped into full funnel marketing, where there was clarity on, hey, if you want to focus on audience acquisition versus lower funnel conversion only, you can easily do that. We jumped into more lower funnel by discussing shoppable display ads, shoppable video ads, and their importance, both of which, of course, are in pilot mode at this stage. And then I asked Ryan about metrics. Maybe that was a gotcha moment, but Ryan carefully and eloquently gave us a scoop that the anchor moment now, or let's say the metric that we're starting to see more and more as a focus of the industry, is actually long-term value, as it rightfully should be. So let me just point out, as it rightfully should be. Then we jumped into the partnerships they've established, with the Backviews of the world, Flywheel Digital, so that the retail media platform can be fully leveraged and decomposed with all sort of rich analytics. And then user experience. Glad to know that, Ryan, that's a focus area for you all, and we'll see some major improvements over the upcoming weeks and months. And then we wrapped it up by starting to talk about the fact that you actually now support EBD and Snap. So congratulations. That makes a big difference to the consumer universe in this ecosystem we are in these days. And then we even learned about smart cards. And maybe, I'm not going to give that one away, but maybe we can have you back at some time with the smart card folks to shed some light in the industry on what one can look forward to when it comes to smart cards, etc., and what the future holds there in terms of what the user experience in store could possibly be with those. So, wow, power pack, Peter, and a pleasure doing this week over week with you.
Yeah, Sri, I couldn't concur more. Really great episode, and as always, love doing this with you. Nobody learns more about what's going on in the industry through this podcast than you and I do. So that's phenomenal. To our audience, really appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to speaking with you on the next episode of the CPG Guys podcast. Goodbye. The content in this podcast episode is provided for general informational purposes only. By listening to our episode, you understand that no information contained in this episode should be construed as advice from CPG Guys LLC or the individual author, hosts, or guests, nor is it intended to be a substitute for research on any subject matter. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by CPG Guys LLC. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The views expressed by CPG Guys LLC do not represent the views of their employers or the entity they represent. CPG Guys LLC expressly disclaims any and all liability or responsibility for any direct, indirect, incidental, special, consequential, or other damages arising out of any individual's use of, reference to, or inability to use this podcast or the information we present in this podcast.